Alright, okay. Alright, so Raleigh Open 2013. It has been a month since, it's been at least 2 months since the competition, but why not make a video about it anyway? So, Raleigh Open 2013 was my third competition ever. And it was probably one of the most fun. I don't really get to go to a lot of competitions because I live in South Carolina and there aren't really many people down in South Carolina that are cubers, but occasionally, so when the Raleigh competitions came along, I was really happy because then that was a competition that I could actually go to. So I went to the one last year and this year. Unfortunately, Jonathan's going to be going to college, I think, so he won't be able to organize down here, down in North Carolina anymore. But apparently some other delegates are moving down, so we may have, I know Jonathan's not a delegate, but we have delegates moving down, so there's a good chance that there might be more competitions near here in the future. So overall, this competition went pretty well for me, and I had a lot of fun, and it was really enjoyable. So I'm going to talk about competing mostly here. So I'm going to get my iPod here so that I can remember kind of how everything went here. Alright, so the competition started out with 3x3 round 1, of course. And I did terribly in the first round. Nobody really got a good average. The fastest was 13.14 average by Evan Liu. And I got a 14.85, which was my competition PB, but that's not really saying much. My last competition was the year before. My best single was 13.05 and it had a U-perm.
Watch each other. Oh my God. What'd you do?
So, yeah, it didn't go too well in the first round. I screwed up really badly in the first round. After that, I believe it went to 2x2. 2x2 didn't go that well, for me at least. I can usually average like sub 4 at home, and my best average in this comp, my average in the first round was a high 4, so really bad performance. Although in the first rounds for 3x3 and 2x2 and other events, I was kind of a victim of the timer. There was one timer there that didn't really want to stop when I stopped it, so it got kind of annoying. It actually cost me a couple of seconds on a couple of my times, so it was really, 2x2 didn't go that great, but I didn't do terribly. I still placed third in the first round, and then second in the finals, but we're gonna get to that.
Wow.
So, what's next? I think 5x5 was next. Or maybe one-handed. I'll go to one-handed first. So one-handed, I didn't really care. I did place 5th in the first round with a 28 average. Yeah, I know, I'm really bad at one-handed, but I don't care. Like I said. I beat both my competition PBs. I had a 2707 best average in competition ever, and a 22.80 single, but I don't care.
And then you finally come, and then this school, evidently was in a bad neighborhood. Oh, there we go.
Yours too?
Was in a bad neighborhood because they, he's talking about it. And I told him, I said, it really can't be that hard, and I think it would be fun. That was great.
So, going on to 5x5. Let me adjust this. So 5x5, if I can find it. So 5x5, went really well actually for me. I broke my personal best average, and not my personal best single, but definitely my personal best average. I actually won first place, so it was cool to beat Evan. Yeah, it was really cool. So I definitely enjoyed the 5x5 event. I got, yeah, the world record cue from Florian also probably helped, so thanks Florian. And then 4x4. I was just starting to get good at 4x4 before this competition, so I wasn't really down there. I used my die on MF8, and I got a lot of lockups and stuff, so my average ended up being 51, and I got 3rd place. Now I consistently average like 45, so I probably would have won first if I had done it again, because the first place in this competition was 47.12 average. So I could have done better in 4x4, but still placed 3rd. I mean, it wasn't a horrible average. So then we had lunch, and I ate, and then I did multi-blind. So, oh god, multi-blind went horrendous. Was terrible. I really wanted a success in the 3x3 blindfolded and multi-blindfolded events. At least a success. And for multi-blind, I got 1 out of 3. So it ended up being a DNF. And the time was pretty good too for me, at least. It was like 14 minutes. And I got 1. One of them was off by 3 edges. So I was so close. I almost had it, and it just didn't happen. And then clock. At least from what it says right here. The clock went really badly for me. Oh god, I didn't even get an average for clock. But this competition was kind of it kind of inspired me to begin clock, because like at this competition I didn't really care too much about clock, but of course Evan was there and he's world record now, so it's kind of cool, and that's kind of why I got into clock, because Evan kind of, yeah, it was cool. So my best single was like 18, which is like, it was like my second best at the time. Now my best is like 6, but yeah, I've gotten a lot better since that competition. I've gone down a lot. And guess who won? Evan. Surprising. Although the one solve that my mom filmed ended up being his worst one. Oh sure, my mom films one of his solves and it happens to be his 12, and his average was like 8. Thanks a lot, Mom. So 3x3 round 2 was definitely the best part of the entire competition for me. Now, my goal for this competition for 3x3 was sub 12 average and sub 10 single. And I had an 11.93 average. It ended up placing me second in the second round, but I was still happy with it because it was a pretty nice average for me. Now it wouldn't have been, it won't be a great average for me now, but at the time it was a good average. And my single was amazing. I actually had the fastest single of the competition, with 9.15 PLL skip. That was really insane. Unfortunately it wasn't filmed because that was the one round that my mom decided not to film because she's smart like that. But I was still happy to have that single. So I broke both my goals. I just wish that it was filmed. That was my first sub 10 in competition and it's not on video. I'll never have that. But I still got the sub 10 and it was really awesome. Megaminx went pretty well for me. I actually broke my personal best average. Yeah. I know what you're thinking. How do you break personal bests in competition? Well, I don't get nervous and I don't really do many averages at home, so it's really easy for me to beat stuff in competition. So my Megaminx average was 117. I definitely beat Evan by a pretty good bit. Yeah, so I placed second. I mean, I didn't really stand a chance to Jonathan or anything. Freaking 57 seconds, oh my god. He was national champion this year. I was happy with second place. I mean, how do you get first place against Jonathan anyway? I mean, Jesus. Moving on to 3x3 blindfolded. Oh god, the blind events, dude. I failed the blind event so hard. I didn't even get a success in 3 blind. Like, I was off by 3 corners on one of them. I was so upset, man. I was really frustrated after that. I didn't really want to talk to anybody else after that. At that point, it was so bad. But who cares? I'll get one next time, I guess, if there is a next time. So yeah, blindfold was horrible, but the majority of the other events went well, so it wasn't really a big deal, I guess. Pyraminx really went, Pyraminx didn't go that well. I got a 7.8 something average, and I can typically average like 6 to 5 at home. So, at the time I was averaging around 7 to 6, so that was an absolutely unacceptable average. I wasn't really practicing Pyraminx before the competition though, so I guess that's kind of probably why I failed. It just didn't go that well. 3x3 one-handed finals. I don't really care about one-handed. I didn't care about one-handed at the time either. So 27 average was fine for me. Nothing fantastic, but I don't really care. Moving on to 2x2 final. I did end up placing second, so I placed, but I did not, I still didn't get a sub 4 average. It was like 440 something, so it still wasn't that great. I think it was a 441 average for me, and it was really bad. It was bad, dude. But, I mean, I placed second. Big deal. Big deal that the average wasn't great. 2x2 is not my best event anyway. I had the second fastest single of the competition. But, I mean, it's 2x2 single. So, nobody really cares. I don't really care. And then there was 3x3 finals. I was obviously in the top 8. I actually got second in the second round, so of course I would be making it to the finals. And it was so close in the finals, like, me and Evan. I was so nervous in the finals, like, I had, my first solve was an 18, and I was just like, oh my god, now if I mess up once. And then I get a 12, and then I see, and then Evan has 2 times, and his are 12 and 11, and I was just freaking out at that point. I was just like, okay, that's it, I'm done. There's no way I can win now. And then I got a 12, and then a 10, and then a 12, so the average ended up being 12.39. Now, I was pretty convinced that I wasn't going to win at that point, though, because I had seen Evan's first 2 times. And so, I go up to Evan, and I go up to the results guy or whatever, and then he's, I think he said that Evan had a 12.49 average, and then I didn't know what my average was, so I was kind of nervous at that point because I knew my times were pretty, were kind of like sub 12.50, so it was just like, maybe I did win. And so I was kind of nervous when it got to the awards ceremony. And I actually ended up placing first in 3x3. Barely.
I'm not supposed to check it. Right over. It's alright.
It was I think my average was 12. Did I say it was 12.39? I meant 12.37. But I think my average is 12.37 and Evans was 12.50. So it was 0.13 off. That's how close it was in the finals. It was crazy. But I did end up winning, and that was really an accomplishment. I don't know how I beat Evan, but Jesus. So yeah, that was really cool. And I was really happy to have won that.
Second place, Evan Liu. And the winner of Raleigh Open 2013, Daniel Wanamaker. Alright, thank you all for coming again.
Hold it up.
If you see any cubes that aren't yours.
So yeah, overall, I had a fun experience. I got to meet cool people like Andrew McClinney. He was cool. But I had seen him in the last competition too. He actually placed third in 2x2 with a 5.09 average. So that was cool. We did team blind, and he was the caller and I was the solver, and it was like 2 minutes and something. It was funny. And then Clark Chang, he's a cool guy too. But he was also at the last one. But a lot of the people that were at this one were at the last one too. So yeah, and then of course Tim Reynolds is always cool. Corey broke the NAR for multi-blind, even though it got broken the next day. But it was still cool. I mean, 14 out of 17 cubes. Jesus, dude. You need to, like, solve less. You need to drop. You need to, like, slow down, dude. Like, we're not even close to you. So you gotta let us catch up, man. Jesus. And then, of course, Cookmeyer, Megaminx. Yeah. He was really nice, of course. He was the organizer, too. But, yeah, he was really nice. We were competitive in 4x4 in 2012, but now it wasn't really even close. Like, I would have demolished him. But, he still has Megaminx. I'm not even close, dude. Like, 115 nowadays. And he's 50. So, yeah. And then Evan Liu. Funny thing, I actually was talking to Evan, and he was talking about how his knockoff clock was really bad, and then when he got a Rubik's clock, he started getting more into clock. So I asked him if I could try out his Rubik's clock, and then he was all like, yeah, sure. And it was really nice and all, but then I got called up to compete for like Pyraminx or something, and then I forgot, so I never got to feel his clock, and it was kind of funny. But I got an original Rubik's clock anyway, so guess it's no big deal. But it was it was just kind of stupid that that happened. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened at Raleigh. Yeah, it was really cool to win and all, obviously. But, you know, you shouldn't just go to competitions to win, because only one person wins in each event. So, don't just go to competitions to win. The way I started out, I was 30 seconds. I was 31-second average at my first competition, and it was Harvard. There were people like Ro Hessler and stuff, and they were like 9. So, you don't go to competitions to win. You go to competitions to have fun. And if you happen to win, then that's a good plus. But you don't go just to, you know, win. So it's good to compete, even if you're not that fast. Go to competitions. Always fun. So yeah, don't know if there'll be a Raleigh 2014 because Jonathan's not going to be here. But and Jonathan's the organizer, so he can't really organize when he's in Pennsylvania. Well, he can organize competitions in Pennsylvania. He can't organize competitions here because he's not. That's how we're gonna put it. But yeah, so that's Raleigh 2013. Yeah, don't go to competitions to win, but go to competitions to have fun. And if you think you shouldn't, not go to competitions unless you're fast enough. You're wrong. Go to competitions if you can. Don't spend all your life savings to go to competitions, but if there's a competition near you and you're not that fast, go anyway. It's just a fun experience, even if you're not that fast. So yeah.